first became a principal back in 2002 as a middle school principal, and from the inception of every opportunity that I've had an opportunity to be a leader, I've always started the year with a quick prayer. So if you don't mind, I'd like to lead us right now, and if you want to join me, I'd certainly appreciate it. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day that we've been blessed with. I thank you for this tremendous amount of energy that I feel in the room, Lord. I know your presence is here. We ask for your protection this school year, and I personally ask, Lord, that you would wrap your arms around each of these campuses and each of these staff members and each of the individuals in this room and give them your protection. We just ask for your continued blessing upon this district. And Lord, I ask for your continued wisdom as I try to lead. Ask all these things in Jesus Christ's name. Amen. All right. Now, we have some new cabinet members that before I actually start into the message I'd like to deliver, I want to introduce some really important people. As you know, this job is extremely large. It's a hard job. And if you weren't surrounded by individuals that you could trust and count on to help you through the day, it would be extremely hard and almost impossible. So I want to introduce to you some new cabinet members. If you could stand when I call your name, I'd very much appreciate it. We'll start with our Chief Accountability Officer, Mr. Jeff Sanderson. Right here, Jeff. Stand to be recognized. You've already met our new Director of Fine Arts, and what a great addition to McKinney ISD, Dr. Dan White. Our Assistant Superintendent, Chief Human Resource Officer could not be here, but let's give Ms. Tamara Griffin a round of applause. Also, we have two new Assistant Superintendents. I call one my right hand, one the other. I'd like to start with Dr. Melinda DeFelice right here. And Ms. Susie Woodard. Guys, it's a new day, and it feels good. I want to tell you right now, thank you, Randy, I appreciate that. I'm number one cheerleader. It feels good because for 7.5 months, I have been waiting for this very day. I've been waiting for an opportunity to stand before you and kind of talk to you and share with you about what I envision our district, where we are right now, quite frankly, and where I see us going. So what I want to do today for you is can we just give permission to have fun? Are y'all all right with that? Okay, all right. I think if you ask anyone that I've worked with in the past, up through the current cabinet members and all of that, they will tell you that I believe that you can have a good time. I believe that you can come to work and be surrounded by people that like to have fun and still get a tremendous amount of work done. Do you believe that? Okay. Well, I want you to know we have a board of trustees that believes that as well, and they like to have fun. So what I want to do at this time is introduce the members of our McKinney ISD Board of Trustees that could be here right now. We'll start with our board president, Ms. Amy Dankel. Please stand to be recognized. Board vice president, Mr. Bobby Amick. Ms. Maria McKenzie. Board Secretary, Lynn Sperry. And Ms. Kathy Livesey. Thank you for this opportunity. I appreciate it very much. Let me give you a little bit of my background. I know this group over here knows me extremely well, and some of you folks down here, you know me a little bit better, but I just want to give you a quick rundown because I feel it's important that you know a little bit about your leader. I mean, after all, I've been here 10 years, but I don't know everyone in this room. So let me just tell you this. I grew up out in East Texas. Anybody heard of a place called Longview, Texas? All right, yeah, okay. I grew up out there in a little small 3A school called Spring Hill High School. Went to school there. Ended up going to Stephen F. Austin. Yeah, okay. All right, Axum Jacks. Married my high school sweetheart, Miss Carrie McDaniel. All right. Been married 30 years now to the same lady. That's good. All right. Awesome. One daughter, 24, about to be 25. Went from there, moved to Tyler, got my first job as a teacher coach, taught physics. Went on, became a middle school principal, high school principal in Tyler. Came here to become the high school principal at McKinney Boyd High School. You see over here. assistant superintendent, and I'm so blessed for this opportunity. And guys, I just can't say enough, and I want to be sincere when I say this. It goes beyond pure excitement at the opportunity. When I think about what this district can become, it excites me. It excites me beyond measure because I know the collective talent that we have in this room. I know the collection of individuals that really come to work every single day caring about our kids, and I know what we can become. We can become something extra special. So I want you to look at this as a new day, a new beginning, a new start as we transfer into however long I won't be here, and I hope it's a long time, okay? Now, let's talk about our purpose real quick. I'm not going to read the mission statement to you. I'm not going to read the vision statement to you because if I ask you to, in turn, give it right back, you probably would not be able to do that. But I want to talk about our purpose. Guys, our purpose, quite frankly, when you get down to the bottom of what our mission and vision statements say, is really this. Our purpose has to be to provide the kids that we are entrusted with a life. That sounds pretty simple, doesn't it? Provide them with a life. What does that mean? Well, here's what it means. We have individuals that come into our schools every single day, and they've been provided the best of the best. Some of them have great home situations. We provide them a life by helping them understand that they can have an even better life. But there are individuals that come into our campuses every single day that struggle. They have struggles at home beyond what we can even comprehend. To those students, we literally are giving them a life. We're giving them a life. We're giving them a chance. Your campus may be the only hot meal they get that particular day. That pat on the back that you give them may be the only pat on the back and affirmation that they get that entire day. Don't take that lightly. That is our purpose. Now let me do this for you. I did this, I think it was a couple of weeks ago with our assistant principals and our principals, and what I did was I asked them to envision an organization that was first class. Let this sink in for just a moment. If we're going to be an organization that is first class, then we must have characteristics that deem us a first class organization. What I want to share with you is this. I know what a first class organization looks like, and I want us to strive to get there. So let me start with this. Every organization, if you go back in time, and I do lots of reading about this, okay? If you go back in time and you look at the most successful organizations in the history of the United States, it all started with the big capital T, and that is trust. I'm asking today that you trust not just me, the superintendent. I'm asking that you trust the leaders, teachers on your campus. I left 2 weeks ago, I left that administrative retreat on cloud 9 because I felt like every single administrator in that room, we were all pulling the same direction. It was a special, special day. If you were there, give me a little round of applause and say, yes, okay, thank you. All right. I left that day feeling like we were all on the same page, and it felt so nice. So what I'm asking you to do, teachers, is this. We've hired the best administrators around. They are the best. I'm asking you to follow them and trust them. So trust me, trust your administrators. Now, here comes the important one. Trust each other. Because first-class organizations also have this, the big R. It's called respect. They respect one another. When you go into a professional learning community meeting and you're sitting there next to your peers, respect their opinions. Don't go in there anti-everything. You've seen those types of people, right? Respect their opinion. So we got trust, we got respect. And the third, and you may have already heard about this, there are no brand new initiatives this year. Do you know that? No brand new initiatives. But here is our initiative, okay? This is what I want. The third quality of a first-class organization means that you have some system in place to measure continuous improvement. The system that we're going to be using from MISD is called the High Reliability School System. If you've heard of it from your principal already, raise your hand. All right, yeah, good, okay. Guys, it is not anything new. What it is a framework to capture all of this wonderfulness that we have going on in our district. It is nothing more than a framework. It's a 5-year plan so that we can show the world what McKinney ISD does. and what we do well, and continually be improving along the way. That's the third characteristic, okay? Now, when you get down to the fourth characteristic, this one is equally important. I want to talk about relationships. You've heard it before. When you're standing outside your door and those kids are walking in Monday week, and you're sitting there with your hand out, or you give them a fist bump, high five, whatever you choose to do, and you welcome them into your door, what you're saying with a nonverbal cue is, I care about you. Just like I know right now, you don't really care what I have to say unless you know that I care about you. You should know that I do, okay? So when the kids come in and you're walking and they're coming into your room, take the time to get to know them. Know their names in advance if you possibly can. If not in that first week, certainly in the first 2 weeks, you should know every single student in your room. Build those relationships. It's very, very important. It's vital to our success. I'll tell you, it's vital to your success as a teacher. Principals, it's vital to your success as a leader on your campus to get to know your staff members. Now, the last characteristic of a first-class organization is, to me, the most important. If you haven't heard another word that I've said, I want you to hear this one. I talked about my first principalship and how that went back in 2002. The thing that I feel that made that first principalship at the first middle school I was ever a part of special was that we all had a sense of family. Would you agree that this is a tough job? It's not an impossible job, though, is it? It's not impossible, but it is a tough job. And so, what the advice that I would give you as you move into this school year is this. You're going to have things that occur to you that you cannot even fathom. It may be dealing with a kid who has issues, maybe dealing with a tough parent, it may be dealing with a situation at your house, it may be something personal. But I guarantee you, when you come to this district, you are going to be surrounded by a group of people that so care about you that you feel uplifted and that you feel like, I'm surrounded by people that care. Let me ask this question. It's August 14th, 2015. Is there any place that you'd rather be right now than get ready for school? Is there any place? I mean, think about this. What a golden opportunity you have. Golden opportunity. Let's talk about family, and then I want to show you an example. You all know that last year, or several of you might know this, but last year was an up and down year for me, personally. And I'm going to show you a video in just a moment, and God bless Carla Schumacher. She put together an awesome video. She's awesome. Give her a round of applause. But guys, I hesitate to show you this video because I don't want it to be about me. My wife and I are in the video. It's not about me, okay? It's about a couple of other families that you will know well, but we're included in it. And I show it to you to lead into the final remarks that I have. So at this time, if you could play that video for me, and y'all pay attention up here.
Suzette Luthi teaches third grade math at McClure Elementary. Kyle Luthi is the principal of Webb Elementary. In March of 2013, Suzette Luthi was diagnosed with triple-negative breast cancer. She immediately began fighting the cancer with rounds of chemotherapy and radiation and a few surgeries in between.
When I came back that fall, we were still doing treatments, and I was just put with an amazing team that we got along great, and it was like the dream team. So whenever we knew that chemo treatments were coming up, we would plan forward so that when I came back to work, even those weeks, because I would take a half a day to get chemotherapy, like on a Thursday, and I'd come back that Friday, have the weekend, and then the next week. And so while I would recover from that, everything had already been planned and prepped and ready. When you teach, it's not always the content, but a lot of it is just who you work with. Melanie's made it a pretty big deal on our campus that the individual comes first, that we have these great jobs and the opportunity to work with kids, but she makes it very known that the individual and family comes first.
Suzette was really ill one night, and so I wrote her lesson plans, and I took them up, and I made copies, and Melanie saw me in the morning going, "What are you doing?" And I said, "Oh, I wrote lesson plans, and I'm making copies and putting them on her table." And that afternoon she called me and said, "You don't need to do that anymore." So they were either really bad. I don't know that they were really bad, but she just said her team wants to do that. And I never had to think about it again. And that was just another tender mercy that was taken off our plate. Suzette didn't have to worry about writing plans late at night, or me writing plans late at night and making copies early in the morning. And her team just stepped up and took care of it this year. And that was such a great relief to us. So hopefully it wasn't because they were horrible plans. Hopefully it's because of the support and the love that they wanted to share, but I'm hoping for that one.
You don't want to let anyone down.
Yeah, that's the other thing. You want to be worthy of their support. I don't know how to word that differently, but yeah, you don't want to let anybody down, and you want to be worthy of their support and love, and it makes you want to work all that much harder for them and support them and others.
Carrie is the Business Systems Analyst for the McKinney ISD Technology Department. Rick is the Superintendent for McKinney ISD. Last year, Carrie's nephew died unexpectedly in September, and Rick lost both of his parents. His father passed away in October, and his mother passed away in May. Just hours after his mother's funeral, Rick and Carrie's only daughter and child, Devin, was involved in a very serious car accident. Devin had severed her mesenteric artery. The first emergency surgery kept her alive, but it also placed her in a medically induced coma. The following days were critical as doctors waited to see if Devin would remain stable enough for further life-saving surgeries.
And so for about the first 4 days, we sat and did lots of praying, and were visited by a number of people from our district and McKinney ISD, and people from all over the area offering support.
As the McDaniels experienced their most difficult and frightening moment as a family, Carrie and Rick struggled to keep up with the outpouring of support and concern from their McKinney ISD family.
It's a good problem to have, though, to have so many people that care, like really seriously care, that you're just wearing out your fingers texting everybody, but that's a good problem to have.
Yeah. And the care that you have for them is why you're so concerned, because you want to keep everyone informed.
I think there were plenty of times we probably didn't feel deserving. And it just grew and grew and grew from all the people that we know in the district, and then they would turn in the prayer request at each of their individual churches, and they would tell their friends and neighbors and family members. And it literally went from 100 people centered around maybe Boyd and central office to absolutely thousands of people praying for Devin. And that's one of the things that we have loved, helping her understand just the magnitude of the number of people that were praying for her. People that have never known her, never heard of her, certainly never met her. Just absolutely, it turned into thousands, and we are 100% convinced that's one of the reasons she's still with us.
When kids are in need, we respond as a district. When teachers are in need, we respond. When families are in need, we respond. And that's the story that the public doesn't get to really see. They hear every time we take a false step, or there's a perception that we've taken a false step. That's what the news wants to report. And the reality is we do so many great things, and we're so supportive of one another and our kids and our families. It's why McKinney is such a special place.
And I just want to say, as much as we appreciate all the support and prayers we've had, I'm kind of ready to not be at the top of everyone's list anymore.
That's exactly right.
Heather Pyburn teaches first grade at Wolford Elementary. Lance Pyburn is the desktop engineer for the McKinney ISD Technology Department. In March of 2014, their youngest son, Landon, was diagnosed with a cancerous brain tumor. After emergency brain surgery, the 22-month-old Landon began 4 months of in-hospital chemotherapy, followed by 6 weeks of daily radiation treatments, and then another 6 months of chemotherapy administered in his home. From day one, the Wolford and Central Office families rallied around the Pyburns.
Yeah, no question. They set up, the meal plan so I didn't have to cook when we came home from the hospital. My administration has just been wonderful because even like we weren't in the hospital and radiation was over, but he still had doctor's appointments almost every week and I would have to leave early. So they were wonderful about having parents get to come in and watch my class for me, or my team would just take my kids and split them up. When I was gone, they just planned for me and got all my things ready for the substitute, and I just didn't have to worry about school when I wasn't at school. I knew that my kids at school were taken care of, so I could take care of Landon. Central office with Lance working there, they did quite a few fundraisers there as well, a luncheon and some pancake breakfast, and it was just unbelievable. And like we keep saying that, we say thank you, but thank you doesn't even, it's just not a big enough word to describe our gratitude for everything everyone has done for our family and for Landon. My parents in my classroom were just wonderful. Like the next day they had sent a gift basket for Landon full of toys and fun things for him to do.
Mommy,
And yes,
okay,
I'm sorry.
Rubble.
Okay, can you go show Rubble to Bubby?
Yeah.
Okay, go play with Bobby and I'll tell you when we're done, okay? Okay. Sorry. It wasn't even just Wolford or just Central, it was the entire district. I know the McKinney Boyd football team does a fundraiser and they presented Landon with a check to help with his expenses. And I mean, it's really just been all over the district. One of the teachers started a t-shirts. He made t-shirts and sold them, and teachers from around the district had Landon t-shirts and it was just really sweet. I think Lance and I both aren't the kind of people who ask for help a lot, so I think at first it was really hard for us to accept that help. But then, we realized people just really wanted to help us. They wanted to be there for us. They wanted, to see the best for our family, and there are no words to really describe the amazing people that have helped us.
I mean, I think you could go on for days and just say how wonderful everybody is and how supported we felt, and give example after example and name off name after name, but you'd leave somebody off, and then of course, like I say, there's those that didn't give their names. So there's just no way you can repay it other than do it for others.
I would hope that people don't find themselves in our position, but if they do, just know that, there are wonderful people in our district and they are amazing and help without even being asked. They just do.
I don't know that there are words to express the feeling that you have when you have that many people lifting up prayers and supporting you, other than to just say, from the bottom of our hearts, we thank you, Devin thanks you, and
pay it forward.
Landon is a rambunctious 3-year-old with no signs of tumor growth in his brain. Doctors will continue to monitor him for several years, if not for the rest of his life. Heather says he's one lucky little boy. Carrie describes Devin as a walking miracle. After critical surgeries, 3 weeks in the hospital, and a month of home health care, Devin now enjoys the simple pleasures of life, such as going out for dinner, seeing movies, and even Father's Day with her dad. Suzette was in remission of cancer for about 1 year before her doctors detected a hot spot last spring near her sternum. She is currently receiving chemotherapy treatments, and she will start radiation very soon. Suzette and Kyle continue to tackle her cancer with courage and tenacity, but they also remember the unrelenting strength that is needed to conquer this disease. They will once again rely on the thoughts, prayers, and selflessness of their McKinney ISD family.
that's who I want us to be. That's what we're going to be about. Let's give Carla Schumacher one more round of applause for putting that together. Carla, awesome job. Thank you. Did you hear what they said? Did you hear the closing comment? That is what we're going to be about. And you know what I know? I know that there are individuals sitting in this room right now that events are going to happen to this coming school year. You're going to face some trials and some tribulations, and you're going to be looking around for someone to support you. Doesn't it feel nice to know that you work in a district where you're surrounded by individuals like that that will lift you up physically, take care of your physical needs, take care of your emotional needs, take care of your spiritual needs? That is why McKinney ISD is a special place. You know, it goes without question, we have great facilities. Would you agree? Great facilities. But you know what? So does Plano, and so does Frisco, so does Allen. So you're saying, well, you know, Ms. McDaniel, why in the world would you show us a video like that? And what does it have to do with academics? Let me show you how it translates. I know that if we have individuals like this in our district that will take care of all of those needs that I just got through talking about, I'm smart enough to know that this will be a destination for the absolute best of best teachers across the state and the nation. Am I right? I'm also smart enough to know that that translates to our kids getting the absolute best education that they could possibly get. That is why this has to be what we're about. It is our start. It is the foundation for which all of the things in this district will be built upon. It is that important to me. Now, what I want to do for you today is this. I want to challenge you as you go through this next school year. I want to challenge you that when times get tough, that you'll be that person that reaches out to others around you to help support them and to help lend a hand for whatever need it is that they could possibly have. That's my challenge for you.